Tonight, Premier Scott Moe shuffles his cabinet, welcoming some new faces. Vendors and models say they still haven't been paid after attending a Regina fashion show. And we meet a Saskatoon music fan who takes memorabilia to a whole new level.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Thursday, December 11th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. For the first time since forming his cabinet following last year's provincial election, Premier Scott Moe has made a significant cabinet shuffle. Some new faces are becoming ministers, while some veterans are leaving their high-profile portfolios. Jeremy Warren tells us who's in and who's out.
I, Michael Uyghur, do swear that I will be faithful and true and bear true.
Mike Uyghur is the new Minister of Community Safety and will oversee the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. He replaces Tim McLeod, who has faced criticism for how the province handled this year's wildfire season. It's the most high-profile change in Thursday's cabinet shuffle.
We want our communities to be safe. Back home, I've got a 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter. I want them to be able to play at the park and walk down the streets with their friends, and I don't want their parents to have to worry about their safety.
McLeod remains Justice Minister, and Moe thanked him for his work.
This is about balancing some of that workload and allowing them to focus on some of the work that we need to do in the justice space in order to ensure that we have the proper and appropriate laws in place moving forward in an uncertain world, but also to keep our communities safe as well.
The Premier bumped up the number of ministers from 16 to 18. Uyghur and 4 others are new, including Chris Beaudry, who's now the Energy and Resources Minister. He takes on an important portfolio focused on energy security and critical minerals.
We have many challenges ahead of us, not just as Saskatchewan residents and as a province, but as Canadians, in what's all going on in the world today, and we need to be very well prepared to, make the pertinent decisions on behalf of Saskatchewan people.
3 ministers are out completely, including former Energy and Resources Minister Colleen Young. Also out are Daryl Harrison and Travis Kiesig, who was Minister of Environment. The official opposition panned the Premier's new-look cabinet.
He can shuffle chairs on the Titanic all he wants, but the reality is after 18 years, this is a government that is out of ideas.
Almost half of the Sask Party caucus was first elected last year. Some of those new MLAs now make up 1/3 of cabinet. Jeremy Warren, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A handful of community members gathered at a housing complex in Regina's North Central neighborhood Thursday.
End homelessness in Regina! End homelessness in Regina!
The group was there to bring attention to the growing number of vacant low-income housing units in the city, as hundreds of unhoused people are forced to endure the colder temperatures. The group is also concerned about this housing complex on Wascana Street. It is one of dozens of units being torn down in the area. The building was damaged by a fire last year, displacing people in 22 suites.
It's just further evidence of this province looking at housing as an afterthought and looking at the people that don't have houses, that are unhoused or struggling to find adequate or live in adequate housing as they're an afterthought, and they don't care if they live or die, they don't care if they have what they need, and they don't care about their human rights. Housing is one of those.
The province says it is continuing to make progress in reducing the number of vacant social housing units in Regina. As of November 14th, the overall vacancy rate is just over 17%. That's down about 6% from 2021. The province also says it will continue to explore ways to revitalize the Wascana Street complex. Models and vendors who attended a Regina fashion show earlier this fall say they are out hundreds of dollars. The 3-day event was put on by International Indigenous Fashion Week back in October, and those involved say they have yet to be paid. Helena Mahalik has that story.
It was supposed to be about high fashion, but instead, it turned into high drama.
When we were leaving, we had been told that the models hadn't got paid yet, so I had actually sent out there was a lot of confusion with the whole show. There wasn't any clue-ins on exactly what everybody was getting paid and when.
2 months later, the show's organizer tells CBC News the payments are coming.
And I communicated with the designers and some of the models in a group chat that I'm in, stating that I messed up on the budget. Because when you get a grant, you get a specific amount, right? And then after the event or programming happens, you submit a final report. And after that final report is accepted, that's when you'll get the other percentage.
The event was straightforward. The cash to put it on, not so much. The show was paid for by several groups, including the Canada Council for the Arts and Sask, which together provided nearly $100,000. Where is that money now? Some vendors say it depends who you ask.
We were promised a refund for one third of the sales or whatever, and we didn't get that. We didn't get any refunds. I didn't get paid for my time. I was hired for only $500, but I didn't get paid for that.
One thing is clear. This fashion show didn't go as planned, and some say they're disappointed.
I had even told her that like I would forfeit my pay as long as you pay my models, because that's really like who brings our clothes to life. And to me, it's very important that like that's just a really bad first impression for a lot of those young models. So I really hope that that can get resolved.
While the organizer says she's waiting for final grant money to pay everyone back soon, the models, vendors, and designers say they'll only believe that once they're holding their checks. Helena Mahalik, CBC News, Saskatoon.
2 elders say they were fired from Regina's Paul Dojak Youth Centre after raising concerns about Indigenous cultural practices there. One of the elders says staff at the centre disrespected and disregarded sacred ceremonies at a cultural camp in the fall. She and another elder tried to resolve the issue with staff at the centre, but when they were unsatisfied with that process, they went to the Ministry of Corrections, Policing and Public Safety. On December 5th, both elders were fired.
Retaliation. That's plain retaliation, because we brought issues up and they didn't know how to deal with them, I'm guessing, so they retaliated and they fired us. And that's how they dealt with the issue.
Fisher says she enjoyed working at the centre and felt like a cookum to the youth there. The ministry says it could not comment on specific issues related to contracted work, but says it is committed to cultural awareness and learning within the centre. A group promoting Saskatchewan's separation from Canada has been holding presentations in communities across the province. And it's working closely with an Alberta organization promoting independence from Confederation in that province. And as Lisa Rism explains, talk of Western separation is drawing some interest.
In a hall near Saskatoon, over 200 people have come to hear from the Saskatchewan Prosperity Project, a group promoting Saskatchewan's independence from Canada. The group's president, Brad Williams, focuses on Western alienation and what he says are the economic and political benefits of separation.
Freedom, hope, prosperity for our children, for their futures, because right now in Canada it's a sinking ship, and if we don't take our little lifeboat and throw it out and get off all we can, we're going down with the ship. And we don't have to. We are giving away so much money to Ottawa, we're so controlled, we're losing our freedoms.
The Saskatchewan Prosperity Project is following in the footsteps of the Alberta Prosperity Project. Over the last 5 weeks, Williams has held public education sessions in close to 10 communities around the province, including Swift Current, Prince Albert, and Meadow Lake. Key talking points include equalization payments, canola tariffs, and immigration. People we spoke to at this meeting say they want some kind of change.
Recently, through COVID and through a lot of mistrust that I have in the current government, I'm interested in looking at ways that we can become more resourceful, more independent.
I was really happy to see the big crowd out tonight. It was excellent to see a lot of enthusiasm. I talked to a lot of people after as they were leaving. And they're ready to get involved, they're ready to get into their community, they're ready to start forming chapters in their small towns.
Western alienation has a long history on the prairies, but political analysts say there's never been an organized separatism movement with any real momentum.
No province can leave
This political scientist says provinces aren't allowed to separate from Canada without a constitutional amendment, and plebiscites in Saskatchewan aren't legally binding.
There's no mechanism in Canada for a province to just unilaterally say they're out of the country. And that's a Supreme Court decision that happened after the 1995 referendum. When we were thinking about this in the context of Quebec.
The Prosperity Project is encouraging people to start local chapters and plans to hold meetings in more Saskatchewan towns and cities in the months to come. Lisa Rism, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Well, those ice pancakes on the South Saskatchewan River in Saskatoon are getting bigger and bigger as it gets colder and colder. They pair nicely, though, with that fresh batch of snow we saw through the day Thursday. But now that the snow is mostly over with, it is time for another blast of Arctic air. Weather specialist Mickey Wolf tells us how cold it's going to get when we come back. Chances are you've kept a program from a performance you've seen. Maybe you have a shirt from a concert you went to. But Roque Andres Jr. takes music memorabilia to a whole new level. The Saskatoon man's home is covered in it.
My name is Roque Andres Jr. and I'm a live music collector. Anything that has to do with a live show, whether it's the gig poster, sell us, if I can, grab it off the stage, I'll take it. And it's just a piece of music history from that moment in time. So yeah, it's just a shrine to live music because it's my favorite thing to do in life is going to a live show. And then I'm like, oh, there's a sheet of paper with the song list on there. I'm like, hey, that's the songs they're playing tonight, one of my favorite songs. So I'm like, well, I'll take that after the show. So I did that at pretty much every show that I was at. I noticed that, I'm a guitar player, so, hey man, can I get your guitar picks? So these are all guitar picks that I have managed to snag at a show. One of my favorites, I love death metal, but Bryan Adams, man. And then the drumstick, the drummer broken sticks or they fly all over the place. I'm like, hey man, that drumstick that fell, can I grab that? He's like, for sure. One of two Iron Maiden drumsticks. So one of these was one that I wrenched out from the hands of a little girl, two people beside me. If she sees this, I apologize, but it's mine. So now it's become pretty much something that, it's a piece of history from that show, a souvenir that I can hold on to and remember that show at. And, plus I can kind of show it off to some friends they're into the same thing. So yeah, and it's kind of grown from there. This is actually that painting that I was telling you about, and that's how it started. And here we are. So now it's out of control. I don't know, I'd probably say about 400 or 500 gig posters maybe. Yeah, this is a kind of a weird, unique piece. This is actually a piece of towel that was used to wipe off Gene Simmons' fake blood that he spit out a couple hundred set lists, 300 or 400 guitar picks, but this is what started it off. My very first guitar pick that I got at a live show. It's like a living museum. Like when people describe what I have, they're like, you should charge admission. My closest friends have been in here, but yeah, they're quite blown away, and they just can't believe the sheer magnitude of what I have, and it just doesn't end. I can't see myself collecting anything else other than what's music related, so my next hunt is my next gig.
What do you give the music lover who has everything? Mickey Wolf joining us now for a look at the forecast. Unfortunately for me, I really underestimated how much it was going to be snowing when I went out for my lunch break.
Oh, Ethan, me too. Me too. The snow adds a couple of extra minutes to that lunchtime walking commute to and from the coffee shop. But we are going to be getting a break from the snow as of tomorrow. But first, let's take a look at some warnings we have active. Now, they're not snow warnings, but we do have some active cold warnings. They're yellow, so it's the most moderate of the warnings here for Saskatoon, North Battleford, Meadow Lake, Kindersley. It's going to be very cold tonight, folks, so if you're in those areas, please bundle up and stay warm. As for the skies, we've got that snow that Ethan alluded to. It's moving across the province and into Manitoba as we get into the overnight hours. And taking a look at our daytime highs, well, things are looking colder in the central region, a little bit closer to 0 today in the south, but that is going to change as we get into the weekend. So again, overnight, we're looking at that snow moving out of the province, and then relatively clear skies tomorrow, except for that southwest corner. It's going to get a little bit of snow closer to the 9 p.m. Friday night hour if you're heading out on the town in the southwest. Then we've got that high pressure system moving things out. We will have clearer skies Friday, but then Saturday and Sunday, we've got some cloud, and things are looking a little bit snowy for the weekend, but not as much as we've seen over the past few days. So we're going to get that gradual accumulation touching down a little bit in the central region, and then most of it's concentrated to the southwest corner of Saskatchewan there for those higher numbers. In the north, we will see again some gradual snow over the weekend into Sunday, but just up to 4 centimeters. Taking a look at our temperatures, we are seeing -30 over Friday and Saturday across the province. Things are looking very, very cold. So those -20s down to -30 and then warming up by Sunday back into the 0-degree range. We are seeing wind chill down to -41 tomorrow for Saskatoon, -32 for Regina. So again, Friday, Saturday, really chilly for Regina. And then again, Tuesday, things warm right up to 0. We're going to have some winds gusting, so that'll make things feel a little bit cooler, potentially seeing some rain mixed with snow then. But over the weekend, we've got quite a difference in temperatures, and same for Saskatoon. We're looking at a very cold day tomorrow, and then as we get into Sunday, Monday, we're seeing a big warm up. So we're going from overnights -34 on Friday down to -7 on Monday. So really quite the differences here, Ethan. We've got a little bit of back and forth with these temperatures over the next few days for the province. So I'm looking forward to Sunday and Monday, which is not something I say often.
A real roller coaster ride. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you.
And while we're dealing with the snow and the cold here, floodwaters are wreaking havoc in British Columbia's Fraser Valley. Evacuation orders have been issued for hundreds of properties, with hundreds of residents in Abbotsford affected. Jessica Chung has the latest.
It only took around half an hour for this road to be completely engulfed in these floodwaters. We were standing right on the road. It was dry. We saw grass on either side. And just within minutes, you could see that water streaming in. And there was so much debris in the water, and that really gave you a sense of how fast that water was moving. You saw wheelbarrows and boxes, tires just moving so quickly through this water. And you really got a sense of how powerful these floodwaters are, and really how fast that they were moving. And of course, this is the aftermath of just a deluge of rain that fell within the last 24 hours. Environment Canada says 140 millimeters fell, up to 140 millimeters fell in some parts of the Fraser Valley. That's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. A local state of emergency is still in effect here in Abbotsford. The city just issued new evacuation orders on 82 properties. That brings the total number of evacuation orders to around 450. Hundreds of more of properties are under an evacuation alert. And the city has set up a reception center at the Abbotsford Recreation Center for anybody that needs it. And people here are being advised to, yes, pack that go bag, especially if you are under an evacuation alert, just so that you can leave quickly if needed.
I know it was a sleepless night for many people. The last 48 hours have been particularly challenging for families, farmers, and communities affected in areas affected by flooding. And the province is making every effort to support communities in responding to those floods.
We heard from a lot of people who came out, obviously, from their homes, from their businesses, a lot of farmers, especially actually when we were on that washed out road, there were a lot of residents there. We spoke with one who said that he was going overnight to knock on his neighbor's door to make sure that they knew what was going on, to make sure that they were ready to get out if needed. But he did suspect that a lot of them didn't want to leave, that a lot of people are staying in their homes. Jessica Chung, CBC News, Abbotsford.
Governor General Mary Simon presided over the Order of Canada and Meritorious Service Medals and Crosses Thursday. They recognized 68 Canadians of distinction, among them a childhood cancer survivor who's raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for pediatric cancer research, and a plastic surgeon who led the team that performed Canada's first ever face transplant. Stay with us. We have more news and a final look at our forecast after the break. Welcome back. The Regina Humane Society has its hands a bit more full. Staff recently discovered a storage tote placed outside the front entrance of the building. And inside of it were these early Christmas miracles. 11 puppies, all alive and well, although obviously very cold and wet. They are now being treated and looked after by staff at the Humane Society.
The small area and the number might have actually helped them a little bit because they were able to stay warm. If there had been one or two in there, it might have gone different. Had they somehow escaped the tote, tipped it over, it could have gone very, very differently. So the good news is they're okay, but I guess the bad news is that it happened, and we want to encourage people to, if they cannot keep their pets, and there's lots of very valid reasons why people can't, get in touch with us, and we'll work with you on the best options for you and for the pets as well.
All of the puppies have been thoroughly examined and are currently under observation to ensure they keep healthy. The Humane Society estimates they're about 7 to 8 weeks old. It is expected they'll be ready for adoption in the coming weeks. And Mickey, I'm just thankful those puppies were brought in before the real extreme cold weather that we're experiencing.
Me too, Ethan. Me too. If it would have been tonight, we're just glad it was last night, those puppies that were left outside. I'm glad the puppies are safe, and we are going to see a really cold night tonight, folks. Let's take a look at our overnight temperatures across Saskatchewan. Things are really cooling down today and into the evening. For the south and central region, we're seeing lows -30 for North Battleford. We're still seeing a little bit of those flurries for Moosomin tonight, but overall, looking like that snow is kind of dissipating south and central. Tonight in the far north and Churchill region, we are seeing colder temperatures as well into the evening, and things will warm up just a little bit tomorrow by the morning time. We're going to see those temperatures rise a little bit, and we are going to have a mix of sun and cloud in the north by the time we get to the afternoon hour. And taking a look at south and central, though, we are seeing cold temperatures tomorrow morning. That wind chill, again, is going to make things feel a lot colder than the temperatures we're seeing here. Again, we're going to see a little bit of snow in the southwest, but hopefully some sunny skies to distract us from that cold weather, Ethan, because it's going to be cold for the next 48 hours across south and central Saskatchewan.
Sunny and hopefully not too windy either.
Hopefully not too windy.
Okay, thank you, Mickey.
Thank you.
And that is our news for this Thursday. For more news anytime, you can always head to our website or subscribe to our CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel. And you can always download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.